Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode on Love's Teaching Will Travel. I'm KJ, and our episode for today will focus on staying motivated and inspired. Now, one of the questions I really want us to think about today is how do we stay motivated and inspired in a world full of chaos? There's so much going on right now. It's a new year, and I know many people are thinking, hey, new year, new me. But there's been a lot going on, not just in the US, but worldwide. And I think many of us are really wrestling with how do we put our interests and our needs at the forefront when everything around us is falling apart. Now, at the beginning of our podcast series, I said we needed to ask ourselves a variety of questions, including why. Why do we want to do this? Why do we want to teach? Why do we want to move abroad and start teaching? And what are we looking for in this new direction or this new move that we're thinking about? What's motivating us? What's motivating us to make the changes in our lives? What's helping us to develop our thoughts on where we want to take our journey? Well, for my journey, I really started with wanting to become a better educator. I've been inspired by a variety of people, including educators, influencers, podcasters, children, and even parents I encountered in the classroom. I'm motivated each day by my own children, which is the best part. I'm motivated by the way they move in this world, the way they look at this world, the way they look at themselves, their creativity. They're both artists, and I find the way they think to be so fascinating. Now, after years of working in the field, whether it was working with young children or training adults, after feeling less than inspired by the education my children was receiving in early elementary, I thought about homeschooling. And from there, the route that I took was very, very interesting. Now, through a series of events over that year, I decided to homeschool. I ended up in Finland. Now, this is a story for another day, or you can bypass that time and you can go to my blog and actually take a look at my journey to Finland, what led me there, and how my experience in learning about a new country, a new culture, and the people in this culture helped to inspire me to come back home and make some changes in my own life. From the way I saw my children, from the way I saw my own role as a parent, as an educator, something in me just clicked. A light bulb went off, and I really thought it was important to come back with all the things that I learned the first time around and ingrain them into my life in a way that would feel authentic and right. And it's worked wonders for me. It's helped to change the way I look at the world. It's helped to shape the way I raise my children, the way I teach my children, the way I teach others. And this inspired me to look further into education and travel, but I didn't go as deep as I wanted to at the time. But I stayed on the path, and when I did end up in Finland a second time around, I was even more inspired to really bring what I learned to my higher ed classroom to help other teachers learn new strategies and think about how they want to make changes in the field of education and what this means for our children, what this means for their families and our society as a whole. I always felt on my travels to Finland that as a culture, as a country, the collective thought that it's beneficial for everyone if we treat our children a specific way, if we raise our children a specific way, if we're engaged in education a specific way, this has short-term and long-term benefits, not just for the children themselves, but society as a whole. And this continues to move forward, and it continues to make an impact on their society. And I felt that this was something that I could inspire my students to do. I felt that I could help them to educate parents or work with parents collaboratively to make this an active part of their environment if everyone just sat down and communicated and talked about what was really at the core of teaching young children and helping them to grow, and how this would have long-term positive effects on us as a society. Now, when we come back, I'm going to share some more about my story and how my inspiration going to Finland has helped to continue motivating me, and this is how I stay motivated, because I know in the long term, everything that I've learned and everything I've implemented in my own classrooms will make a difference. And I'm so inspired to help you find your way in thinking about the path that works best for you. It might not be Finland. It might be a completely different country, a different state, a different city. But I feel in beginning this podcast, my goal is to really inspire and motivate. And in this episode, I really want to continue that. I really want us to think about, how do we stay motivated? It's one thing to get motivated, and it's completely different to stay motivated and still feel the passions that you felt at the beginning continue to grow and manifest itself into something bigger than you or I could ever imagine. Now, hold that thought. We'll be right back. Now, back to the story of going to Finland the first time. After leaving Finland and feeling inspired and ready to get back into the classroom, I searched for schools and classroom environments that would give my children something similar to what I saw in Helsinki. There were so many schools that we visited, forest schools, traditional schools, but environments that showed me that children do have the ability to have autonomy and have freedom and have an school environment and experience that's positive, rather than making them feel beaten down or unmotivated, tired, uninspired. And so I came back home and I searched and searched, and I found Montessori. Now, not just any Montessori, but a free public school Montessori, an anti-racist, anti-biased environment that focused on making sure children were engaged in understanding themselves and the world around them. They taught history, they taught the principles of social justice. They wanted the students to leave school every day feeling like they can go out into the world and make it a better place. And this was the place for me and my children. I felt that this was an opportunity for my children to grow into amazing young people who can give back to their community while still having the creativity and freedom to be who they want to be. Now, as a teacher who is inspired to teach a new generation of educators how to work with young children, to focus on social and emotional development rather than academics, I am conscious about the route that Montessori has taken in the US, steering further and further away from Maria Montessori's traditional ideals and practices, which really focused on helping the disadvantaged, the poor, and children with ability differences. So to find a school that went back to those principles made me so happy, and it made me even more determined and inspired to help future teachers and my own children reach their best potential. It's important as educators that we really take a look at what goals we want. How do we want to change the lives of those we encounter each day? And knowing how difficult everyday experiences can be, from sitting in traffic for hours, from dealing with the effects of this pandemic, the economy, and everything else that just makes life so difficult. It's important for us to really teach our children how to feel inspired from within, to teach them how to feel that their life is worth it and their life is worthy of being great and amazing, and continue to help them push for all those things that they love to do or feel inspired to do. I feel like as I continue to grow this podcast, I really want to look at where I've come as an educator and where I'm going as someone who not only helps teachers to be better teachers, but also a career coach who supports those who aspire to go abroad, those who aspire to do well in their communities here, whether it's through social justice or through advocacy and community service. I feel that I'm inspired and motivated to keep going each and every day, because I know that if we continue to persist in this work, we will succeed and we will help the next generation to become the people that they want to become. And through this persistence, whether we're here or overseas, if we know what we want, if we know within ourselves that we can be better and we deserve better, we can move through this entire chaos that we've been living through in the past several years to a better space, and to a space that is inspiring and motivating. And it starts with really looking within. Now, as we wind down, please remember that there are spaces available online for you to seek out and find the community that works best for your interest and your needs. For me, it's working with Black Sick Global, or making sure I am watching Stephanie Perry's videos and staying on track with the Vicarious Vibes. There are so many people out there who are there to inspire us. And if finding that community helps you to stay motivated, then you find that community that helps you. You can also join my Facebook group, right? We're trying to start our own community here with Loves Teaching Will Travel. This is a great space to share resources, share stories that will help to inspire others. With that said, you can find me on Instagram at always_travel_light. You can also find me on kjaroundtheworld.com. That's the blog. Please check out the show notes for any links that you might be interested in, any past episodes that might pique your interest and help you to see what could take you on the path to being a better educator and to looking at making sure you're living your fullest life. You can take a look at past interviews I've done with other teachers and travelers from around the world. Until next time, see you soon. Bye-bye. If you want to hear more from KJ at KJ Around the World, be sure to listen in for new podcasts every Wednesday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Bye.